to do the jazz hands. This is how it goes. There you go. Dave is doing jazz hands. Liberty Suppressors. There you go. Walter and Spencer doing jazz hands. Jazz hands. We are live. We are live. I hope you got your big girl bulletproof suppressed underwear, drawers, panties on tonight. It's episode 279 of the Who Move My Freedom podcast, coming to you live from the Strange Media Studios in Gainesville. That's where I'm at. We've got Dave Saylors right there from Liberty Suppressors. You're in where? Georgia, right?
Yes, sir. Nearly in Tennessee.
Oh, way up there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Georgia. I was thinking to myself, like, that's not. I was like, is that a Georgia accent or is that a Tennessee? I don't know. I was quite
I'm on
confused.
the state line. It's technically a hybrid with Alabama and Georgia.
Oh boy. Okay, yeah, that's a super hybrid.
Yeah.
So there you go. Walter and Spencer are in the safety harbors.
Yes.
There you go. Spencer's in here.
So I have my Stan Lee expert with us tonight. So.
Yes, there you go. So welcome to everyone that's joining us in the chat. Please, guys, don't forget to thumbs ups. Don't forget to share. We got 13C Joe joining us right now.
Ooh.
He's coming in. He's getting set up. You go ahead, Joe, get set up. So it's going to be a great show tonight. As Walter just mentioned, we did lose Stan Lee yesterday.
Man,
he of the Marvels. You know, that was. I mean, I think like a year ago we lost his wife, right? And I think those guys were married for I think 60 years.
Wow.
Yeah. The same year we also lost Steve Ditko.
Okay. Steve Ditko. Why would I?
He drew Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay. Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. Okay, that's why that sounds familiar. So yeah, and then unfortunately we lost Stan Lee. Hopefully someone digitized him in the Marvel universe, so we'll keep seeing him all over the multiverse.
What they did with Tarkin in Rogue One.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
Unfortunately.
Yes, this Spencer knows everything about.
I brought my weapon.
Yeah. So Spencer's gonna smack us up with the knowledge right now. We're gonna have we're gonna spend a little bit of time here.
This headband.
Oh jeez.
Oh boy, what is that hunk of metal on your forehead?
Oh, it's a headband from this anime show called Naruto.
Oh, so it just serves the purpose of being a piece of metal?
Well, it's a ninja headband.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. My understanding was that ninjas were stealthy and they didn't have little flashy metal headbandy things, but that does look familiar. I have seen, how do you say it, Naruto or Naruto?
Naruto, doesn't really matter how you pronounce it.
Where they run with their hands behind them.
Yeah,
they run with their hands behind their back.
Oh, wow.
That makes it more stealthy.
It makes it more faster.
Yeah, I will definitely trip and bust up my whole face.
Not end well.
Yeah,
just
running like
Google
that.
People doing the Naruto run in real life.
It never ends well.
Oh, really?
Oh, man.
Dave knows about this.
I didn't know this was going to happen. I'm sorry.
That's cool. It's fun. It's fun. So, Joe, are you all plugged in?
Yes, I think so. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you. Okay. So Dave, this is Joe. Joe is from 13C Gun Reviews. There he goes. And he is in Indiana somewhere?
Yes. Yeah, Northwest Indiana.
There you go.
Isn't the internet a great thing?
It's awesome. It's awesome. Because we're all relatively warm and Joe's cold as... How cold is it, Joe? Tell us.
Freezing to death. It's I don't know. It's probably about 20 and somewhere in the 20s out there right now. It's horrible.
Okay.
All right. He has one of those FMP 90s too.
Yeah, he does.
A real one though, I think.
Yeah. See, you've got that, Joe. I've got this.
It looks like it, man.
Yeah, it does look pretty good.
It feels like it too.
Yeah, we'll compare it with Joe. So, Joe, I think there's something up with your audio. I can hear clicks, as well as your audio is a little low. So we'll see if we can get that fixed. So meanwhile here, what I'll do is I'm going to introduce everyone out there in the audience. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Like I said, don't forget to thumbs up.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, don't forget to share. If make sure you're subscribed to this channel as well. Please click the notification bell, all that kind of good stuff. Since we've got a lot of good stuff, not everything's good, but we have a lot of things going on today to cover, including Joe is actually going to announce a giveaway when he gets back here. So Yeah, at the end of the show, right? Towards the end of the show. Yeah.
Giveaway winner.
I actually have some stuff to give away too.
Yeah. But Joe's giving away a Geisley trigger. Walter, I don't know what you're giving away. So
I'll show you guys in a little while.
yeah, okay.
It's more on that whole anime Stan Lee thing too. So.
Oh, okay. Are you giving away some old Spider-Man underwears or something? Is that what's going on? Yeah. Because some people are gonna want that, and some people are not gonna want
Spider-Man underwear.
No DNA included. No.
I got Spider-Man pajama pants.
Oh, okay. Don't volunteer anything, Spencer.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all over this in the comments.
No, I bet.
Yeah. So anyway, our big special guest tonight is Dave Saylors from Liberty Suppressors. Dave, what's going on, man?
Doing all right. How you doing?
Awesome. Thanks for coming on the show, man. This is cool.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome. We're going to talk suppressors and whatever else. As you can tell, we're going to talk about a lot of crazy stuff, but we are going to talk about suppressors, silencers. I don't know. Which one am I supposed to say, Dave? Explain this.
Call it a silencer. That's what Hiram Maxim called them. So
silencer?
we're just the father of silencers and just go with silencers. Yeah, our company is Liberty Suppressors, but they're the same thing.
Well, what's the difference then? So why are there these two nomenclatures?
Well, because suppressor sounds nicer. Honestly.
It doesn't sound as evil.
Yes.
Oh, it's the evilness.
Right.
Is that what
it doesn't have a bayonet lug on it. That's what.
Yeah, it's remarkably devoid of a bayonet lug. But that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Alpha Dog thought of it.
Just call it the Walt. That's all.
Oh, really, Walter? Oh, really?
Oh, really, Hank?
Yeah, oh, really? Okay, by the way, I see Gunstreamer. I'm going to try to skip the shout outs. If someone really needs a shout out, let me know. I'll shout you out. I see Gunstreamer is in the live chat, so shout out to Gunstreamer. If you guys have questions, go over there, talk to Gunstreamer while he's here. I don't know how long they'll be hanging out with us, but you guys can go say what's up to them. So Dave, tell me this. So there is no difference between silencer and suppressor, right? Just
correct. They're exactly the same thing.
Okay. Yeah. Which one would you prefer to use if you rule the world?
I'd use silencer. It's easier to say.
Okay.
It's easier to spell too.
Yes. If I could go back and rename my company, I would change the name to Silencers. But at this point, it's way too deeply embedded.
Yeah. It's like spelling Mississippi.
Right. Yeah.
There's too many S's in Mississippi.
Yeah, we could go back and fix that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So we're gonna chat. We're gonna kick it with Dave. We're gonna kick it with Joe. Right, Joe? You're gonna do a giveaway later.
Yeah, I am. So sign up for the 13C newsletter.
DP9, huh?
And tonight at 8, we're going to cut that off. I think it's 8, or is it 7 your time? Whatever is an app. 55 minutes. So 55 minutes from now, we'll cut it down. We'll go through our email list. We'll have the random generator thing. Plug us out somebody, and then we're going to be giving away a Geisley SSP trigger. Huge shout out to Geisley. Thank you for that. And then we're going to have more giveaways throughout the year, but they're all going to be based through our email subscriber list. That way people, whether they follow us on YouTube, Full30, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, everybody can join in because everybody's got an email address. So.
Sweet. So if do people still have a chance to get in for this, or it's entering this?
Yeah.
So how do they do that?
So you can go to 13cgunreviews.com or 13c.us, and over on the side will be a little sign up area to sign up for the newsletter. First name, email address. That's it. If you want to put in more information, you can. Otherwise, that's it. Obviously, if you win, we're going to need to know where shipping is. When I believe this is limited to US only. I'm pretty sure they can ship to APOs, stuff like that, if you're in the military, but guys can't export triggers into non-US countries because of ITAR laws or whatever. There's something about that. So
yeah, you hit it.
US only.
Yes, only where applicable, and all legal laws and legalities are followed and executed in every way.
Yes.
Right, all that legal mumbo jumbo. So people still have time. Yeah. And you're going to do this, you said, in our 8 o'clock hour here?
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
on the East Coast. Okay.
So I'll grab the email list from that and plug that all into the generator, and then we'll go from there. And then we'll, however long that takes me, we'll do it toward the bottom half of the last hour.
Okay, awesome. I would love to see everyone go over there, put your name into that thing, get on that thing. I'd love to see someone that watches the show win it.
Is my mic still crappy?
I'm still hearing some pops sometimes. Are you guys hearing any?
Yeah, it's crackling a little occasionally, but not a lot.
Yeah.
All right, let me see if I'll work on that on the back end and try and change that.
Yeah. All right. No worries. Okay. And Walter, what's up with you? What's going on with you, Walter?
Same old stuff in the shop. Just making stuff, making parts. Working on more Streebog Picatinny rail adapters. They seem to be selling pretty good.
Yes. Yes.
The MP5 RS stock, or the MP5 full size one. We kind of figured out what we need to do to fix that. Had a little issue, but we'll be turning those pretty soon, or cutting those pretty soon. Plus, we're making more MP5Ks, and we're making everything more stocks. So, for Dave doesn't know, I make a stock for the MP5K. I make a stock for the MPX, MCX, both tailhook and the regular stock, CZ Scorpion, and then also AR-15.
Streebog.
Yeah, Streebog. We're doing a Picatinny rail adapter. Soon we'll be making a stock for that. That'll be at the SHOT Show for sure. So,
wow.
Plus the 50 caliber uppers that I normally make for AR-15s, but we're kind of in a holding pattern because of ATF right now. So,
really?
yeah, we got a letter saying that they could be possibly considered firearms in themselves. So, so we have.
Even though you need like a hammer to make it go off.
Well, yeah. But anyways, there's a determination being determined right now, I guess we'll say. So,
yeah.
And we met with them, and I have legal staff and all that stuff. So, we're just waiting to hear back from them.
Walter, have you considered? Can you guys hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Mm-hmm. Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. So I've considered. Have you considered? Is there any possibility that if they determine this for your upper, they might try and put that implication might span out and then be applied for all uppers?
When we met with them, I didn't sense that when we met with them as part of the reason why. One of our main questions was, well, why did someone trying to get an importation determination affect the domestically produced product already that I've been doing since 2003?
Mm-hmm.
And well, other people are affected by the letter too, because other 50. But why just the 50 cal guys getting the letter?
Yeah. Why not other bolt action people?
Right. There's some other people out there that make bolt action uppers, and they didn't get letters. So we didn't get an answer about that. We haven't seen the determination letter that triggered all this. There's some theories about what might have caused it, and I'm not going to go into all the details of that because I don't know for sure. But yeah, we pleaded our case, as you'd say. I mean, gave them the facts, and I've sent one in for a determination, and they're supposed to be doing it in a hurriedly fashion instead of 4 months, and then we'll see what happens. So maybe before Christmas we'll know something, hopefully, or the children won't get any presents.
Oh no!
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that jacket that you bought.
That hoodie.
Well, let me just say this: 3/4 of my income stopped when that letter came, so it was a pretty big. It was a pretty big hit. So, but anyways, it's being worked on. So hopefully, there's one way or another we'll be back making 50 cals. I don't know if
we'll be back to normal.
Hopefully the wise or how do you say that? Hopefully.
Our wise overlords.
Somebody says, "Oh yeah, this is not enforceable." Oh, okay.
The suits.
But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Would you consider, if you're tough for money, would you consider marrying off Spencer if the girl's family pays a big dowry for him?
Yes.
What? Not that cool, are you?
I'm right here.
He's just joking, Spence.
A little.
Yeah, I'm not really. Not really. Okay, cool. All right. So Listen, I hate to. We are having fun. I do want to talk about Stan Lee before we get deep into the other stuff out there. We're going to be. We've got Dave here from Liberty Suppressors. We're going to be able to get on the sub. Yeah, Liberty Silencers.
I like to say just cans. Cans is so. It's so peaceful. It's so unthreatening when you say a can. People say, "What's a can?"
0 calories.
Yeah.
Stainless steel construction.
Hey, well,
Insulated.
that could be the. No, I'm not going to say anything.
Well, why don't you go to Kansas?
Yeah.
That gives me ideas, actually.
Yeah. So okay, we're gonna definitely be able to talk to him, be able to talk to Joe and Walter. We'll talk. I was actually working with Walter over the weekend on some stuff. We're gonna talk about that. First, let's talk about this. Spencer, you're here. What happened with Stan Lee? Do you know? Can you tell us?
Well, Stan Lee passed away yesterday.
They don't know why though. They haven't announced why. I guess he had some.
There hasn't been they haven't told what was the cause of death for him.
Okay.
But he was 95 years old when he died.
Okay. Yeah. So pretty old guy, lived a good, long, full life, right? Everyone here knows about Stan Lee. Joe, do you know who Stan Lee is? It's just
I do. Yeah. The Marvel co-creator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I'm saying about, a guy lives to be 95. All your friends you grew up with usually all die before you when you're 95. All your friends you were hanging with. So then,
and all your kids are all grown up.
Yeah, a lot of times your kids die because you outlived your kids.
That's not true.
Well, 95 is pretty old, Spence. That's the average person doesn't live to 95. So
yeah, don't worry, Spence. If he gets too old, just strip him up, and you'll be fine. If he gets too old for you, just trip him on his walker.
I'm gonna be on that tracked wheelchair. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like when I heard about it, I was totally shocked.
I actually saw somebody's post on Facebook. Another internet person posted that picture with the Hulk sad.
Yeah.
Hulk sad. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, really? Oh man. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I checked it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So where did you hear about this, Dave? And first of all, were you a big Stan Lee? Were you a big fan of Marvel comic books at all?
Yeah, growing up for me, it was mostly Spider-Man and Iron Man. That was the ones that were in Lafayette, Georgia, on the newsstands because we actually read the paper comic books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, back in the olden days.
And you could actually go to the Red Food Store, which turned into Bilo, which turned into Boutique. But yeah, we'd go to Red Food Store and actually buy them off of the magazine rack. But for the longest, I didn't know he was the actual creator because I never bothered to read that as a teenager. But later on in life, I really grew to appreciate what he had brought to the world because a lot of people don't realize that entertainment is a valuable trade. People need entertainment, and they just do. And entertainment is valuable. It's like street musicians. I would so much rather give $5 to someone sitting there playing music on their guitar on the street as to give $5 to someone just begging for it because they want $5. This person's providing entertainment free of charge. They're not even asking for donations. They have their hat or their guitar case or what have you. Mm-hmm. But so he brought so much to the world in the way of entertainment for so many teenagers. Kept them out of trouble. Mm-hmm. It was just worthwhile for what he did.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that entertainment is up there with food, water, sex, entertainment. Then maybe clothing, huh?
Well, now this entertainment has been co-opted for a lot of political stuff, and I don't like that. So
SJW stuff.
Yeah, I don't. When I go to see something to be entertained, I don't want to be preached to.
Correct. I agree with that.
I want to be entertained. I want to laugh. I don't want to go, oh, what are they? Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah. Here goes again. It's like no.
You don't want to be brainwashed.
Well, that's you know.
There's an element of brainwashing in every form of entertainment for sure. You know, that's always been there. It's like bread and circuses, right? You know, but I don't want to be if you're gonna brainwash me, like gently brainwash me. You know, don't club me over the brain.
don't ruin my movie ticket. You know what I'm saying? Don't spoil it by trying to force shit down my throat that I don't want to see or hear. So
So let me ask this. I'm gonna go through and ask everyone here what was your favorite Marvel Stan Lee creation? Let's start with Joe.
My favorite Marvel creation?
Yeah. Something that we could, like, if you could track it back to Stan Lee. I know he didn't create everything at Marvel.
No, I mean, I don't know for sure what all he did create at Marvel. So I mean, one of my favorite Marvel characters, though, and I mean, it may seem cliched, but I've always been a huge Captain America fan. As cheesy as the character's been over the years, I don't know. I've always been a huge fan of his. And then, on the other side, I've always been a huge Deadpool fan as well. So.
Right. Okay. Cool. Walter, you want to jump in there?
Actually, I'm growing up. I've never a big comic book person. You know, I'd see them in passing and stuff like that. I wasn't reading them or anything like that. I mean, every once I go to the barbershop, you see the Sergeant Rock ones or whatever. I don't think that was a Marvel thing. I'm trying to figure that out.
I'm not sure. You know, we should find out who created Sergeant Rock, because I was a fan of that. But I think because I started reading comic books in English.
Oh, it's DC. It's DC.
Okay, yeah.
DC thing.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so I'd see that stuff, and that because I've always been like a fan of the military stuff and guns and things like that. So that always intrigued me. I guess I like the Captain America concept. I don't like what they've did to him lately. They've kind of turned him into the person who plays him's an anti-gunner. But yeah, I don't know. I like the Hulk character. I like Hulk, because he's just he's all over the place, But yeah, it's hard to pick one. I mean,
What was your favorite? Spencer, tell us. You're the expert.
My
here.
favorite out of Stan Lee's creations is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, okay. Yeah, without a doubt. So I think that's the same thing Dave said, right, Dave?
I actually, now that I think about it, I like Iron Man too. I like the Tony Stark character that is Iron Man. So I like his bravado, I guess we'll say.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dave, I know you mentioned Spider-Man before, but would you say Spider-Man also?
Oh yeah. Because remember when we were, you may not be old enough to remember this.
Who, me?
Yeah, I'm a few years older than you, I think. But,
how old are you, first of all? Nobody here is older than Walter. Walter is 562 years old.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But how old are you? I missed it. What did you say?
49.
49. Okay. All right. Not bad. I'm 46.
Okay. You don't look it. I got more gray, and I cut all the gray off the top to hide it. So.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why there's a mohawk.
Yeah. It's also called tactical fat. That helps you look younger.
Oh, okay. Instead of Botox?
Yeah, exactly.
We never did anything with that.
Yeah, fat talks.
But as a kid, I don't know if you remember Lou Ferrigno doing the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Lou Ferrigno is the Hulk.
Yeah, and then they did the Spider-Man movie when I was a kid in the 70s. And, dude, that was it.
Yeah, I agree.
There was a Spider-Man movie in the 70s?
Oh, yes,
yeah, man.
Was.
Yeah, you've never seen that, Spencer? We've seen something you haven't.
I've seen the Tobey Maguire movies and Tom Holland MCU Spider-Man.
Those are young whippersnappers. When was the first Spider-Man? When was the first Spider-Man comic? Do you know, Spencer?
What, my first Spider-Man comic?
No, when it started.
Issue number 1.
When it started. It was Amazing Fantasy number 15.
Yeah, do you remember what year?
1963.
There you go, 1963.
Did he get it? Did he hit it?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm asking Spencer.
We'll see.
Yeah. I think I kind of agree. Like I'm kind of in between what you guys are saying with Walter. I know the first time I started reading like actual comic books was in England because I remember reading Sergeant Rock. And then I kind of like went over to Nigeria and I was reading a lot of Tintin. I don't know if anyone here is aware of Tintin.
Tintin is German Shepherd, right?
Tintin?
No.
That's
Tintin.
That's
Tintin?
like that movie. That's
I'm thinking
movie.
Rin Tin Tin.
No, not Rin Tin Tin. No, Tintin. He had like this little dog, Snowy, like a little white.
Oh, that was a movie.
Yeah, but I read those books. Those were actually like comic books.
August 1962 on Spider-Man.
Oh, it was a year off.
August. Yeah, there you go. So I read those, and then when I eventually wound up here in America, I was kind of reading like Spider-Man, but really the one I identified with the most for some crazy reason is Doctor Strange. So that's
your last name is Strange.
Exactly. It's deliberate. Yeah, I identify as Strange. So you get it? That's why. That's where the Hank Strange comes from. I identify as Strange. So I think that would be mine. Huh?
You need a cloak.
Yes.
Yeah,
Plus,
you need that
plus
awesome
I'm a magician.
cape.
I'm a magician. I do magic every single day. Every single day.
You need an awesome cape.
Yes.
So I'm looking up the Tintin thing. That was a kid with a white dog.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I read those for some reason. Like we came across those when we went to live in Nigeria, and I did a lot of reading when I was a kid because back in the olden days we didn't. Spencer, cover your ears. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have.
I knew there weren't any cell phones in your time.
Dude, we didn't have VCRs as little kids.
I didn't have a cell phone until I was in high school.
Oh,
wow.
Who are you?
I think I was like 26 before I had a cell phone.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. Listen, if you got into a time machine and went back to when pretty much everyone here on this panel was just going into high school, let's say, going into high school, and you showed them your what's that thing you have, Nintendo, the Game Boy, or what is it?
Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah, if you show them that, you would have been like an alien beaming down from a spaceship from the future.
Well, no, I would have took it and knocked it off. That's what I would have done. And I would have been Bill Gates. That's what.
Yeah. Call Bill up. Hey, I got this great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, we had video games back in the 80s, but
you had the football game, Hank, where it was the little dash lights that ran back and forth.
Super Mario Brothers, Pac-Man.
No, the first video game I saw, I think, was the Atari. What is that Atari thing called?
Pong.
Was it?
You play Pong?
I did.
Yes.
Pong.
Yeah.
It was like it was just a blip going back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was too poor to own one of those. Believe it or not.
Too.
Well, they were very expensive in that time.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when let me tell you something, Spencer. In our days, when the VCR became affordable, it was like, what?
That's
Now you can watch Star Wars at home.
Yeah.
When a VCR became affordable, that was like the VCR is our version of the internet. Like back when the VCR, when your parents weren't home, you could I don't know. Walter might have to cover your ears on this one, but they were these. You could put stuff on the VCR tape, Spencer. That nowadays people can just Google.
Well,
come up with.
That's something you can't do now. You can't record anything. I mean, you can't like in the old days. You could record can you record a show off the that's just playing on TV? You can pay to. You could digitally record it, but you can't take it out of that and put it in somebody else's machine and watch it.
I think the first VCRs I don't like.
No, I mean now you can't say, hey, I'm going to watch something on the Discovery Channel and record it, and then you can't keep it in like a tape like you used to be. Put it on a VHS tape and put it in your drawer and watch.
There's different ways. People have different ways. Yeah,
record in real time.
Yeah, I don't think anyone even wants to nowadays. I think people just like.
Well,
I don't have time for that. If I need it, I'll Google it. It'll pull up from somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So there you go. Joe, what's going on with you, man? How's the audio?
Hopefully it's better now.
Yes, actually, it sounds good.
Okay, great. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know what you did, but
so remember that one time I was having some feedback, so I tried to switch to like the earbuds from my phone to try and eliminate the speaker thing because the camera has built-in microphone, but I don't have a standalone microphone. So anyway, as long as you're not getting feedback, we're good.
Yeah,
That sounds all right.
Yeah, your audio sounds good, dude.
yeah.
Cool.
I remember, so we're talking about it, and I see Brick says from VCR to DVR. I remember I had a friend of mine that like he had all the different things
Formats?
that you could get. Yeah,
All
like
of-
Beta.
Betamax.
Laser disc.
Laser
Yeah,
disc.
Laser disc. Aren't those the like giant CD discs?
Yeah, it look like a record album. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like an LP,
Yeah.
the size of an LP.
Yeah, that's what
There's-
movies like.
They
The
even had
first,
Star Wars on laser disc.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude, that's valuable now.
yeah,
Really?
my
Oh,
friend
yeah.
had that. Oh yeah, he had that. I'm pretty sure he still does.
Yeah.
So I remember. Like he said that in the 80s, because crack was a big deal in the 80s.
Yeah.
And his brother became a crackhead and sold a whole bunch of his stuff. And for that, I'm pretty sure to this day, he still doesn't talk to his brother for that. You know, like his brother since cleaned up and became a preacher and all this kind of stuff. But he was like, no,
God.
I don't talk
A
to him
preacher.
because he stole my VCRs and all my electronics and
Yeah.
sold it.
Sold it for
Yeah.
drugs.
A
Yeah.
preacher.
Yeah.
Well, that was you mentioned VCR. Another thing that became commonplace too was an affordable microwave oven. At the same time as that stuff came down in price, because it used to be when the microwave first came out, that was expensive. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
about
they were like
$1,000,
$3,000.
$1,200 for a microwave. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you were doing hot stuff if you could cook a hot dog in a microwave for lunch real quick.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
See, my mother worked for Roper Corporation at that point, and she actually was able to get employee discount, and it was still like $1,500 for one.
yeah.
For a microwave. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so a lot of people couldn't afford it. That's the freaking.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the
Well,
bomb.
Expensive,
talking
yeah.
about 80s
I'll
stuff,
blow
but-
your mind. You guys tell me, Joe, feel free to chime in here. When was the first time you ever saw a dishwasher in somebody's house?
Oh,
And how amazed were you?
I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember. I'm trying to think.
Some friends of ours had a one of those portable ones you hook up to the things, and they had that at their house. But a built-in one was a while since I had anybody had that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was one of my friends' dads was a dentist, and I want to say, I don't remember how old I was, but I was, early grade school. I think one of the first times I really remember seeing one.
Yeah. I think for me, it was something like that. Like I went to somebody who was really super rich.
Yeah.
And in their house, there was this. I was like, what the hell is that? Because the dishwasher was this. See, Spencer, in the olden days,
Yeah.
this is how you wash the dishes.
Yeah, we did that in Boy Scout camping.
Yeah, they did the Boy Scouts. Yeah.
It sucked, didn't it?
Yeah. So man, the leaps and bounds that we've made in technology, which is really crazy if you think about it. I graduated high school 30 years ago. So I don't remember, did I see in 30 years, when I was in high school, I saw a dishwasher, but I worked in a country club.
Right. That was a commercial dishwasher.
Yeah, they had those big commercial
Country
ones.
club.
Yeah, you had to prepare everything, put it in the dish. That was the first dishwashing thing I ever saw. Even I thought that was amazing. I was like, what?
What?
There's these machines for these things? I've been dying my whole entire life washing
And you're
dishes.
getting beat if you don't do the dishes, right?
Yeah.
You're getting whipped.
Yes. And by the way, here's a huge leap in technology. Dishwashing liquid. Okay.
I think that crap went backwards, dude. Believe it, iPod.
It did. Thanks to government, it did.
Yeah. But I remember, my parents had these big bars of yellow soap, and
What?
that's what you did everything with. That you bathed with that bar of soap. You wash the dishes with it. You wash your clothes. All of that stuff with
Holy
this big
cow, man.
yellow, bulletproof. That one bar of soap would last forever.
Real
So it
soap.
would melt away.
No, it would not. Yeah, it would not. It didn't melt easy.
It didn't melt.
No. See, you don't even know about that, Spencer. You don't even know.
That's a good thing, Spence. Don't.
Yeah. James Miller says, "What about a Sony Walkman?"
Oh, that was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was in my bedroom.
Yeah. Those Sony Walkmans, people used to die in New York City over a Sony Walkman.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah. Someone would kill you over a Sony Walkman. I remember.
Really? Like just stab you and steal your Walkman?
Yes, Spencer, every day.
As fancy as this iPhone case is, they would go to the store and buy different little foamies for the headphones so they could dress them up like we buy phone cases now.
Yeah. Oh, Sony Walkmans. They were so awesome. Yeah. I used to get mine because I worked when I was in high school. So I used to get mine from there was this place in Manhattan that would just get those things directly from Japan. That's when Japan was kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah. So I would get like the latest Sony Walkmans that came out.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. I've always been into that. So, okay. Simpson Road Larry wants to know if Babyface P made it back from the chopper. Yes, he did. I spoke to him briefly.
Chopper.
Yeah, he made it back. He had a good time. We're going to have him on sometime this week to talk about that. He did get videos and stuff like that, so we are going to get him on. We're also going to have my friend Chris from Shoot and Move LLC coming in here. So let's switch over to some stuff here. Who wants to talk suppressor? Since we got Mr. Suppressor.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Dave from Liberty Suppressors. So tell us, Dave, what is the state of the suppressor union, my friend? Because you guys pretty much went through a meltdown over the last couple of years.
Yeah, there was. Let's see here. Brief history lesson of the last 2.5 years would be
the flare gun.
41P happened, and because of that, there was a big surge of fence sitters that jumped off and bought everything that they wanted all at once. At the same time that happened, you had Trump getting elected, because anytime a Republican is a sitting president, the entire gun community rests on their laurels and decides to buy jet skis instead of firearm stuff. And then on top of that, there was the HPA, the Hearing Protection Act. And of course, we all know that the events that occurred the week before that happened, they had the Las Vegas massacre, and that's what it was. It wasn't a shooting, it was a massacre in my book. But because of those things, it was kind of a trifecta of doom for the silencer industry, and we've seen a few die from it.
Yeah. So my understanding of this, and you guys, Joe, Walter, jump in here. And I know you said, what was the first law that you said? Was that where suppressors were going to come off the NFA?
41P was the trust rule change for paperwork.
Okay.
So up till then, it was real simple to do a trust and get your Form 4, and they made it a little more difficult.
Well, but at the same time, though, they got rid of the Clio sign-off.
Yeah, which was a big win for us.
Was a huge thing, and nothing was said about it.
Right.
It was like everybody was all freaked out about the trust thing, because Grandpa Joe or Uncle Joe that shouldn't have been near a gun was near a gun because they didn't have to have any background check.
Right.
or your 5-year-old son's on the trust, which can't have a gun anyways.
Right.
So, but when the Clio thing went away, I was like, there was no mention of it, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, that was the cherry on the pie.
That was awesome. I mean, because
but they kind of like slapped us and then gave us a kiss on the cheek at the same time.
Well,
I think that's what happened, right? Because it was like, okay, so this thing is going to, become a pain in the butt right now that everyone, because right before that, everyone was jumping into having trusts. So right when everyone's into having a trust, then they were like, oh, you don't really need that. Matter of fact, that trust thing is going to be more complicated for you. And by the way, you don't have to get this anymore. So
right.
I think that's how we got buried. I'm not saying I agree with you. I think that was a good thing for people in certain places. But the thing that I was going to say is that I thought the thing that really kicked off the silencer-geddon or suppressor-geddon, whatever you want to say, is when I don't know if it started in the industry or where it came from, but when everyone was saying that suppressors are going to come off the NFA, so you're not going to have to do this paperwork anymore, you're not going to have to wait, you could just walk into your grocery store and get a suppressor.
That wasn't going to happen at the grocery store. Come on.
Yeah,
They were still going to do a 4473 and all that stuff. It wasn't going to be like cash and carry.
well, there's certain places where you could do that. Am I wrong?
Oh yeah.
Where?
New Zealand has no laws on it. Neither does Finland.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
Canada, is it where? Can you do it in Canada? I'm not
I
sure.
don't think so.
There's places in Europe I know for sure. You like suppressors are just like no big deal. You can just go get it, get a bottle of milk.
Yeah.
are you sitting still, Hank? You can actually buy silencers off the shelf in England. Yeah, England.
Yeah. Are you looking this up, Walter? You don't believe us?
I'm going over in the summer, so I'll try it.
Yeah, you can buy Parker Hale silencers off of spin.
I will go over there and I will find out.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, what are you saying, Joe? What did you say?
I said, see what you can slip in your
Oh no.
your, rucksack and bring back. But no, don't do that.
Yeah,
Joking.
no.
Fake news. Joking.
Yeah, Walter. You can go buy them in England. Yeah, throw it away before you get on the plane.
You can't buy a freaking butter knife. How are you going to get a suppressor? I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out.
You can buy the silencer. You just can't get the gun. That's the problem with England.
I think I'll stick to buying tanks instead. You can buy a tank easier in England than you can over here. So, but anyways, that's another story.
Yeah. So somehow that whole thing, that whole thing kicked off, and how, how was it? How was that?
Yeah, I mean,
how did that come about, Dave? What's your memory of that coming about? Mine, I thought that came from either the industry or rumors or somewhere that this was going to happen, and then it caught on like wildfire.
Yeah, 41P, as they call it, because it was rule change to, you can name all that federal gibberish code, and that was the subsection they were amending in the rules. Started back in like 09 with what's that group, the NFA TCA trade.
Right.
That group of guys, their goal was to do what they got, which was to lift the Clio signature with that. But inadvertently, what they done was they triggered the whole trust change by accident. They didn't intend on that to happen. They intended to remove the Clio sign off.
Right. Yeah. And that was kind of politicized, the whole trust thing too, because that turned into a big thing for Joe Biden. He was the one pushing that whole thing. Yeah, I
remember that.
That's giving everyone trust issues.
But everybody's what?
Everyone
trust issues, Walter. How can you miss that one? The one-liners just running the family.
Yeah.
So here, let me see. I looked this up real quick, and I'm looking at Wikipedia. That's not 100%, but in Norway, silencers are not regulated and can be purchased by anyone for any firearm. No license or permits necessary. In Denmark, the Danish weapons and explosive law makes the unlicensed possession of a silencer illegal as of May 2014. It is legal to own and use silencers for hunting. That's in Denmark. In Finland, a firearm silencer is classified as a firearm part by law. Purchasing requires a firearm ownership permit, and it just has to be shown to the vendor at the moment of purchase. Silencers for rimfire pistols are sold without government oversight in France.
Yeah.
Come on.
Buy the gun, though.
Yeah. But for rimfire, I mean, you can get it in France. In the Russian Federation, using firearm silencers legally defined as devices for noiseless shooting by civilians is prohibited. Only for Spetsnaz when Putin sends them out to
men in jogging suits.
Yeah.
Let's see. In Sweden, silencers for specified calibers are legal for hunting purposes and license is required. In the UK, the owner's firearm certificate, FAC, will need to be shown permission for the purchase of a sound moderator. That's what it's called. And also the firearm for which it's intended. So, and in Germany, a silencer is treated the same in the eyes of the law as the weapon it is designed for. So
it's not as handy as one would think. You still have to jump through hoops because you have to have the papers. Before you go to get the gun.
The best place on that is Norway.
Yeah.
So look at New Zealand.
New Zealand? Okay, let me see if New Zealand is on here. Hold on. New Zealand, I see North America. Oceania. In Australia, use and ownership of silencers is generally limited to government, security, and law enforcement use only. Prohibited for civilians. In New Zealand, suppressors are not regulated and free for purchase by anyone. That's interesting.
You just can't own. Anyone can't go buy a gun though. So, well,
that's why it's no big deal.
Well, yeah, you can use it on your Briggs and Stratton if you don't have a gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Vanessa Kitty says fly to Norway and ship one back. No. You can't even using a pillow as a suppressor is illegal in America. Right?
I guess. I don't know. I don't do
okay, we got Dave here.
I sleep on my pillow, so excuse me. Hold on a second.
It'll end up being a determination letter by the NFA technology branch.
Yeah,
you have to mail them a pillow.
Send them a pillow.
Yeah.
So somebody will do it.
Well, there are regulations, right, Dave, here for suppressors in terms of like you making your own. Can you make your own or not? You cannot, right?
Yeah. If you file there's a form for an individual to file to manufacture an NFA item for themselves. They can manufacture, get this, they can manufacture destructive devices. They can't manufacture machine guns.
Form 1.
Mm-hmm. Tell them what the form is.
It's the Form 1. With the list of the 1, 2, 3, 4 stuff, it's Form 1. Yep.
Any law-abiding citizen that has a clean record, if you can go in the gun store and buy a handgun, they will approve your Form 1.
Okay, so how does that work? You have to fill out this Form 1 before you do it, submit that, get approved, then you can build a destructive device or a suppressor.
Yeah. Once you have it in hand, that's basically your get out of jail free card. Then you can build the one on the form.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So all of those things came about. I think that just became like the perfect storm. The next thing we know, everyone is sitting on the fences going, hey, these things are I'll just be able to go into my store and get them, and then they're going to be really cheap because everyone's going to be making them. So they're going to become really cheap. And everyone sat on the sidelines and didn't do anything. How did that affect the industry? How did it affect you?
It choked everybody off. There was widespread shockwaves through the entire silencer industry. I've got several friends that are industry professionals in the silencer community, and they all basically kicked back the same thing that I was seeing in my shop, and that was that sales plummeted to nearly nothing. And literally every time you heard someone speak about a silencer, they were going to wait and see if HPA passed. They were literally sitting. They were convinced. I don't know if they had convinced themselves or if there was a political machine that had subliminally convinced them, but they thought it was a done deal that since Trump got sworn in, he was just going to sign that stuff off, and off we were to the races.
Yeah, I mean, because people were like this, Joe. You're doing pretty much the same thing I'm doing, so I'm assuming we're seeing like going to stores and seeing the same. I saw this before Trump. What did you see? I mean, I saw people in the gun stores having these conversations with the customers coming in, and I was like, man, you guys are killing your own business. Did you see that?
So on my side, from friends in the industry, and then I do a ton of silencer reviews, and for a while there was at least one new one a month, and all those, as soon as Talk HPA started, it's just every video I would put out, they'd be like, oh, this is awesome. I can't, as soon as, I got my money set aside, as soon as HPA passes, I'm going down and buying one. And I had the same response every time. I'm like, look, I don't know if it's going to pass. I don't know when it's going to pass. And even when it does pass, there are, there are hundreds of people commenting on my videos, the exact same thing, over the totality of, all the ones I was doing. I said, there are going to be not just thousands of current people who want to buy silencers. There are going to be millions, tens of millions of gun owners who have never considered buying a silencer, who are going to go out the day after it passes and try and buy one. It's going to be like Black Friday, but worse. Mm-hmm. So you've got manufacturers that are used to turning out at least, there's a hilarious thing. Somebody said once when I was talking to him, one of the manufacturers said, any asshole with a machine shop can make a silencer. The question is the really good, the good quality cans that are going to have good performance and good attributes that you want to buy, right? These are companies that are making a few thousand, or maybe low 10 digits a year of silencers, right? So these companies would all have to ramp up to meet the production of tens of millions of gun owners trying to buy a silencer at once. Yeah. I said, if you're lucky enough to be one of those first handful to buy before they sell out, you're going to be waiting months, if not a year, before you can finally get a can in your hand. It's probably not going to be the exact one that you want.
Yeah, Dave is saying like 2 years. And also because there's a huge, massive difference. Like everyone's thinking, man, these things are going to be so cheap at this point. Okay.
Not until supply levels out, right? If you have 10 million people chasing after, I have no idea how many cans the industry turns out every year. But, you're talking about a very small amount and a lot of people. First of all, you're going to be buying at full boat MSRP at that point when you have millions and millions of people chasing thousands of cans. You're going to be paying full retail. So whatever you're hoping to save now on your $200 tax stamp is gone, right? And plus the way the wording was written, if you bought a can from the date that HPO was originally introduced, you would get your $200 tax.
No, that was never going to happen.
Allegedly, that's the way it was written at the time, right? So at the time, that's how it was written. If the bill that these people wanted, that a lot of people wanted to see passed, that was written into it. So I'm not saying it would have happened, but if it did pass, and if it was the bill that they were looking at waiting on passing, then they were going to get their $200 back anyway. Yeah, and not to mention you're killing an industry by not buying anything from them that you would have bought anyway. How many are going to be there, and not go through bankruptcy at that point? So I was really beating the drum of, if you want something, buy it. If you're going to buy it anyway, buy it now. Don't wait. And I don't know how many of those people did. I know some did, and I know there's a ton of people who a year ago who said, "Oh, I'm going to wait." Would already have had their cans in hand, Oh
yeah,
but now, that now you're just starting the clock all over again.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
But to throw some basic numbers in that are just rounded off numbers to go along with what he's talking about, they estimate that in the U.S. there's at least 85 million gun owners. All right, the NFA's total registry for all items registered in the private sector is like 1 million items. So that includes all the silencers, all the machine guns, all, you name it, pen guns, what have you. Mm-hmm. If you take out all the stuff but the silencers, there was only, at the time of the HPA, like 600,000 silencers. So the annual production was somewhere around 200,000 to 300,000. You divide 300,000 into 85 million, actually flip that. And that's the percentage of production capability currently in this country. And if, like he said, if HPA did pass, honestly, I don't think MSRP is the price you'd pay. I believe it'd be MSRP plus, because these people would be bidding on them at the store, because they'd have 1, 2, maybe 3, and it would be just, what will you give me for it?
I'm going to be the doubting Thomas on both what you guys said. And the reason is, most people that own guns don't follow what's going on in the gun industry. They don't follow what's going on with the law changes. If you ban a bump stock in their state, for the most of them, they'll be having their bump stock forever because they'll never know it was banned. I don't think most gun owners, a lot of these people, would get a suppressor because, oh my God, it's a suppressor.
Oh, we agree.
Am I a criminal? And there's this stereotype that goes with all that
Walter,
stuff.
you were there. Were you there when we had this? Remember, we had the guy that has a big video game channel come on.
Yeah.
And he said suppressors are for people that want to kill other people.
And that's the mindset in this country with cans.
Oh, drifter.
The mob uses them for hits and this, that, and the other. And I guarantee you, if you check the mob hits that have been done in this country, 99.9% of them never used a can, because they don't give a crap whether they use a can or not. Yeah. So there would be a rush, yes. Would say that 85 million people be trying to get a can? No, I don't see it. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
But if 1% did, that's 800,000.
But as like Joe said earlier too, and I'm not saying taking away anything from anybody that makes
titanium cans and everything else. The average can is made out of aluminum. And for the average shooter that's just going pling, 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 and you know how many of those you can make, and how fast you can make them. Obviously, I mean, so
how cheaply
you would have 500 new can manufacturers overnight making cans. I guarantee you. I mean, then look at AR-15s. Everybody was going to become Donald Trump selling AR-15s, right?
Well, so let's hit on this because I think it's a good point. Right, here's what I think from me looking at it, right? And obviously Dave's the expert on this, but we're all gun guys. We all own suppressors here. We're into this thing. From what I kind of saw is that even back when I started like getting into guns, from what I can remember, there were like maybe 3 or 4 suppressor companies. Liberty Suppressor is one of the ones that I can remember in my brain, right? And Walter, I'm sure it wasn't that many companies, but right around the time that this happened, it all of a sudden exploded.
Oh yeah,
like everyone and their mama did have a suppressor company. Right when it was like the industry was blowing up, and at the same time, the industry was like, let's see if we can, do something to just totally kill the. I don't know if it was the industry. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but something happened and it killed that whole entire industry. Go ahead.
There was false hope.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't base your business on what might happen. And, you can if you want to. You want to take a chance. You want to buy machines and do all that stuff, and then find out, oh, I'm so sad I can't sell nothing. Well,
yeah. But why was everyone? So let me ask this of Dave. And Walter, you're a manufacturer, and I know you and I had these conversations because I'm always telling you to make stuff.
I thought about making cans, but I can make cans, but it's like I'm making enough other stuff right now. I don't need to.
You did the right thing, Walter. So Dave, why did this happen? Why did everyone right around this time, like right there? This seemed to just be like the perfect moment in history when everyone was getting into the suppressor business. And, what did you think about that at the time? And why did that all implode?
You're asking me or Walter?
No, I'm asking you because I know you're the guy that would have the right answer.
That year at SHOT Show, I was there, and literally, you was one of like 200 companies that had a 10x10 booth that had silencers in it. I was amazed at how many companies popped up at the 2016 SHOT Show that January that had silencers on their table. It was companies I had never heard of, and little obscure companies that might had one silencer, but they had one on the table, and they had some kind of weird twist on how to make a silencer. Daniel Defense come out with theirs. LaRue made one. Everybody made a silencer. Well, that was the year of the silencer at SHOT Show, and the industry was on a roll. It was building a good, strong head of steam. We had seen the steam building over about 6 years. It was headed up.
So how did that, like, what I'm trying to see is a timeline here, and you're actually in there. So maybe if you can go back to so when you started, right? How long has Liberty Suppressors been around?
All right. We started in 2004. We added the Liberty Suppressors name in 2006 because Saylors Machine and Design Works LLC was so easy to remember. We wanted to give them a second name that they could add on to that. So, but we added the training. So we've been around since 2004.
Okay. So when you started, right, at that time, how many suppressor companies were there?
There was AWC, AAC, Gemtech.
Probably Dead Air.
Excuse me, sir?
Was Dead Air around? No.
No.
Okay.
Silencer Co. didn't exist. Dead Air didn't exist. You had SWR was pretty heavy in the industry then. They were doing cool things. And
who was the big dog? AAC?
At the time, Gemtech and AAC were kind of butting heads, and Surefire was coming in with their rifle cans, and Kevin and whoever that guy was at Surefire were constantly butting heads back and forth. They were trading licks all the time, and you remember the magazine ad?
No, because I don't know if Walter, there was a magazine controversy, some kind of advertising.
Well, they took one of the Surefire cans and run it on some kind of gun until they blew it apart. Then they put it next to their brand new core in a magazine ad and said fully welded construction is better. Well, it was a brand new core versus one that had been shot to death, and and it was misrepresentation is what it was, and they sued them and had to retract the ad.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So there was a handful of companies.
Yeah, maybe 6.
Okay. And then when you got into it, you said in like 2004, 2006, how many companies? It was just those and then you, right?
Yeah, and there was the little
small
what
ones.
you call them? I call them hobby shops. They'd make a few with and sell them here and there and make them on the weekend or something.
That long, right?
Go ahead. Say that again, Joe.
Yeah.
But like small companies like Bowers has been around that long.
Yeah, Bowers has been around for a long time.
Yeah. That's true. Tom Bowers has been making cans a long time, but he kind of split his forces and got really big into that whole subguns.com website thing. And, he had the cans, but he really didn't push them all that hard when he got into the internet.
No, he never really did much marketing. I think he's starting to look into that finally now because I've met and talked with Tom several times. He's a really nice guy, really knowledgeable guy. But it seems like it anyway. But yeah, he's always been more into the niche things. I think he's changing that up. Starting a little bit. It seems like he's changing that up a little bit. Have some cans that have some more widespread appeal. But his novelty stuff is pretty neat.
So was that
not novelty, but I mean for the more exotic calibers. Let me rephrase that.
Was that your first suppressor, Joe?
What's that?
The Bowers.
The Bowers, or what was
I've
your first? When did you get in the game?
I've tested and shot a number of Bowers cans. I actually have 3 that are sitting out in the pipeline right now. But I've had a lot of fun with some of his like his 458 can was a blast. I don't want to get too far off topic here, but there's a number of some of those niche calibers or subgun stuff that like on an MP5 that Vers 9S is really quiet can to deal with. So I don't want to get too far off in the weeds in that, but I was just thinking of somebody who's been around for a long time that isn't necessarily thought of as big, but who's good at what he does.
Okay, so let's go down the line here and see what was everyone's first suppressor. Joe, what was yours?
Well, actually, yeah, the USS.
And what year?
This year, technically. I mean, I've been doing so this year has spurred me on to actually buy and get a bunch of cans in. I've been consulting and using for me personally owning them this year for working with other companies and dealing with things as consulting and other things. I don't know, 4 or 5 years at least.
Okay, all right. So
it's been too convenient to have everything that I need come and go as I please. And then at the end of it, I'm just like, you know what? I need some more I need dedicated stuff here. So I've invested in a lot of that to actually have here constantly rather than turning things over and coming in and out all the time.
Okay, cool. Aries, our friend Trey says Gemtech Trek T. That's his first. I'm just going to give some of the people from the chat. Ant Diesel Vision says a russet potato.
That was the ad that came out right after Suppressor sued him.
Oh, really?
They compared it to a russet potato in the next.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the hell does that mean? Okay, I didn't get that. Let's see. My first one was a Surefire SOCOM Mini, and I think that was like, I want to say 2014.
Nice.
Something like that. Yeah. Walter, what was yours? I know this was way back, so your first suppressor was probably first.
You're going to be a wise ass. I got to have a Maxim.
Car muffler.
I had a Maxim.
I wish I had a Maxim.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I do. Well, no. Well, I have a Maxim, but it's from Saylors & Co.
I'm having a brain fart. I had they've changed names. I've got a 1022 by them. I got a couple 22 cans.
Yeah, because I've shot. I know exactly. Yeah. I can't remember the name of it, but I know I've shot what you're talking about.
And then I've got that. I've got a 223 can from them too. We swapped some. I swapped some of my shotguns. My short AOW.
It's a guy's name. It's
Bob
something. I can't remember.
They've changed names. They're out in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the first one. And then everything else now has got Gemtech. So.
Okay. What about you, Dave? What was your first suppressor?
I bought it directly from Curtis Higgins himself at Knob Creek. It was the little Mark II Integral by S&H Arms of Oklahoma.
An
Bought it in
Integral.
04.
Okay. A
Yes.
Mark II Integral. Oh,
Yes.
explain
And
that to me.
and
Explain that to me.
it's a
Integral.
Ruger 22 pistol with the silencer built in to where it looks like it doesn't have one.
Looks like a heavy barrel.
Yes,
Oh, nice.
looks like a target
Okay.
pistol. And it, dude,
Wow.
it was beautiful. He does beautiful work. He's old school.
Oh, I remember John's Guns.
Yeah. He was
Yeah.
kind of Curtis's competition. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were at Knob Creek together about a few boats apart, and they were selling basically the same wares.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
I have a 1022 that's it got the integral can, and that's really quiet. And then a couple screw-on ones, and then that 223 can that likes to fly off the end.
Yeah. You and Walter must have bumped into each other at Knob Creek because Walter has a permanent table at the creek.
Yeah. I go I've been going since 2000 actually. So
I've seen your stuff there.
Oh,
I normally don't. I set up a table a few times, but for a silencer company, it just don't bring any value. So
it's hard to. If you're going to be successful, well, my opinion, you're going to be successful with the creek, and you want to sell something, you want to create some money right there, right?
Yeah.
When you sell Class 3 stuff, nothing changes hands. I mean,
that's right.
So you got to be selling. You got people that come there with cash in their hands and want to buy. It's like a gun show.
Yeah.
So let me get to this, because I'm really fascinated by what happened here. So what did you see, Dave? Like, what is it from when you got in? You said other people were getting in and doing stuff. What is it that caused this explosion that everyone got into making suppressors?
What we're using right now, the internet made people aware. That's literally what it was. Up till the internet made people aware, you had to know a guy who knew a guy who was a Class 3 dealer to even find a piece of Class 3 equipment. At that time, literally, an engineer at GE hooked me up with the first Class 3 dealer that I ever met. And he had bought an MP5, a transferable MP5. And that was my first ever exposure to a legal machine gun. Up till then, I had no idea. Up till 04, 03, somewhere right in there when my friend got his MP5, and it was just bizarre. And then as time went on, people got on the internet and they started talking about their silencers, and people just became aware. And then, of course, love him or hate him, Kevin Brittingham did amazing things to bring awareness to the industry. He spent tons of money marketing silencers to the masses.
Are we talking about the owner? Is that the guy from Silencer Co?
No, it's a guy from Q now.
Q. Okay, yes. All right. Yeah.
He used to own Advanced Armament, and he sold it to Big Green. But yeah, love him or hate him, he's real. He's got a real brash or real abrasive personality.
He's got a personality for the internet.
Yes, and like I said, love him or hate him, he brought a great amount of awareness to the silencer industry.
Okay. So let me ask this, just because I know you've got some stuff and I want to show that, but I kind of want to get this established here.
Yeah, sure.
So we all lived through this meltdown that happened in the last couple of years. There's companies that went completely out of business. Silencer Co. survived by basically laying off everyone that worked for them, and they were the big dogs at the time all of this went down, I think. There's obviously still companies there. How did you guys survive? How did Liberty survive this whole thing? How was it on you? How was it devastating? How did it play out for you guys?
Yeah, it was. It was life changing. You go from making seven-figure sales figures to six-figure sales figures. It's life changing. So what we done was, for us, we did smart investing. We're a zero debt business. We've never owed for anything that we've ever owned in this business. So we started out from the outset to stay that way. We were not going to go to banks and involve them and risk. Basically, the strength of the business is the fact that we don't have to worry about making mortgage notes on equipment or property. So the people that work for me have some security. So they're not scared that the job is going to just vanish. So we took the extreme profits that we made in 15 and 16, dumped it back into the business, and bought a bunch of very modern, very technical Doosan turning centers. And we re-internalized a bunch of, like, we were having to subcontract small parts. We physically could not make them fast enough. All right. Things were selling so fast. We were having to get shops help us, local shops that were supplying us with small parts. And we literally internalized all of that. And by doing that, we cut out, unfortunately, all of those subcontractors and their expense, and internalized all of that work and put it into the machines here so that our people could have something to do. You know, number one, you protect you. Number two, you protect your family. Well, my men and women that work for me are my family. I had to protect them first, then the subcontractors. You know. And
okay, so you didn't have any kind of layoffs or anything like that?
No, we had 2 guys that left to go do other ventures, and they chose to leave. One of them even left before the apocalypse. Per se. So, I mean, in the office, people come and go. Salesmen never stick around for more than a couple of years. You very rarely see one that is happy to stay in any industry very long. They're
hustlers. Yeah, sales guys are hustling all the time.
Yeah, yeah. They're always trying to work. They're always after the hustle, so they don't want to get comfortable. So they don't stick around a long time. They move on. And so we had those move out. Well, we just didn't replace them, and and basically divided their work up amongst the other people because we had a little more time to do it because sales were down, and it just kind of self-balanced. And now we're building back up. We've added a guy here and there, and as sales increase, we'll bring one back in once the plateaus hit the point where we're to support another person. But yeah, we're a typical small family business. We're not a big company with hundreds of people.
Okay, what did you do before this? What before you started making cans, what were you doing?
Industrial maintenance machine work. We would work with industrial maintenance departments like General Electric or some of their subcontractors. There's a bunch of companies around here. Carpet industry is real big in this area. We did a lot of parts for the carpet industry.
Okay, buffing machines?
No,
making
we
carpet.
make like replacement parts for the machines that make the
the maintenance of that.
The mills, man.
Oh, the mills. Oh, the big machines. The big machines.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay.
When you're driving north on 75 through northern Georgia, look to the left and right, and you see the mills.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, got it. Okay.
It's real heavy up here in the industry. So we did that. And when I bought that integral pistol, I wanted to see how it was made, of course. I dismantled it immediately. And when I seen how it was made, I was like, dude, I can do this better. And that's where it all began.
Okay, cool. So you said there's some kind of turnaround. What's affecting that turnaround right now?
Yeah, as far as
like it seems to me like you're saying that everything's coming back a little bit after the Great Depression in the silencer industry.
Yeah,
is it coming back in? Because it sounded like you were saying it's coming back a little bit because you're hiring people.
It is. We're seeing it. I mean, if you chart the sales per month, you can actually see what I call it is a rebalance. You had a big surge of sales in a year and a half time where all these people were panic buying. Literally, they were panic buying. And it's just like the AR-15s thing that Walter mentioned earlier. It was all panic sales. And once everybody...
Yeah, I think that's why we all got suppressors, because we were like, oh, crap. Before this whole thing happened that everyone was going to get them, we were all thinking, man, I better get this now because they're about to make it illegal.
Right.
Okay.
And then you had the big slump because everybody that was going to be those people that bought over time bought everything at once. So you had a large surplus of money, and then you took that money and you just lived on it to get you through this weak spot. And now it's back to about normal. We're actually seeing pretty good sales numbers now.
Okay, cool. So one of our friends that's always here on the show with us, Babyface P, and I know for a fact he has Liberty Suppressors. He wants to know what positions you're hiring. He's available. He's looking for a job right now.
Will he relocate to the Trenton, Georgia area, Chattanooga metropolitan area?
Yeah, you gotta relocate, Babyface P.
Yeah.
He might. Listen, he's looking for a gig, and he's a good gun guy. He works with me. We've
got 2 positions currently that we're talking about filling that we're kicking around. One of them is manufacturing. It'll be a machinist. They'll need machine shop skills. The other one will be not outside sales. It's actually, we conglomerate it. We basically call it customer care. You'll take phone calls. You'll help process orders in the office and do outside sales events. You know, we don't have a single dedicated job.
Okay. No, I understand that. Yeah, that's how it is in the industry.
Yeah. I mean, today I was out putting cores in the milling machine because Eric was busy doing something else, the guy that normally does that job. So, you know, I was helping him out.
Yeah, you're wearing lots of hats. I know you're doing like marketing and stuff like that. I think, you know, between you and your wife, you guys are juggling a lot of stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
business. That's Walter.
Yeah. That's all, like everyone on this panel right now, that's what we do. Like I do, you know, this is a business for me. I do a bunch of stuff. Lola does stuff. Joe's the same thing. You know, he's got a regular job plus doing this, you know. Walter, it's crazy. I mean, 7 days a week, right, Walter?
It can be. I actually try not to make it 7 days. I don't want to not, you know, my opinion, if you work too much, you'll end up turning it into a job. I didn't do this to have another job. I mean, where you don't want to go to work.
Right.
You know, when you get to the point, even your own business, where you don't want to be there, something's wrong.
Too hard. Yeah.
Well, or you're just like I said, you know how you ever things happen and then you think to yourself, I was doing this 10 years ago. We shouldn't be doing this now. You know, like something wrong, something you're redoing.
Somehow grown up.
Yeah, why am I still doing this? Or why are we still doing this? You know? And that's when you start to think, man, you know, I could just go get a regular job, but then I'd be a miserable bastard. So
when I started, I thought that by now the videos will be able to edit themselves.
Well, yeah.
Right, Joe? Those videos should edit themselves, damn it.
That is the bane of my existence. Well, when it's not freaking 10 degrees outside anyway. That's the bane of my existence is editing. I hate editing. I mean, if I could just shoot and I didn't have to talk or edit, that would be good.
Yeah.
But you know, you put on the talking and then I got to edit out all the at least the really bad ums and stutters and crap. It's just I want something halfway watchable for people, and it's just it's infuriating.
Yeah, I'm actually a pretty good editor. I've been editing for like 20 years, but I hate it. I could edit in my sleep, but I hate it. So I'll tell you, I've been editing so long that I've used all the editing software that's out there now. Like I use Adobe Premiere. I use that in the first version 1 of that software. Yeah. Same thing with Final Cut. When Final Cut first came out, which is what a lot of guys use, although it's pretty terrible because actually Apple's not developing it. Adobe is developing it. That's why there's no upgrades in it. But I use that in the first version. So that's how long I've been editing, and I hate it. I'm waiting for that day when there's just an orb, floats around, follows me, shoots video, edits itself.
That's called an editor position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not so easy to do, especially with the whole creative thing. So now, speaking of this, let's get into this because I know the guys, Walter wants to see this. Joe wants to see it. Let's see some cool stuff that's coming out from Liberty Suppressors before we run out of time here.
Yes. Oh, crud.
Yes.
Oh.
Pull out the guns.
There's the Centurion. Well, we talked about this one briefly earlier. This is a little 9mm suppressor. We've been making it for about a year, but we basically reintroduced it. It didn't get a good launch because it come out during the apocalypse.
during the correction. Let's use it during the correction.
The market correction.
Yeah, can you say relaunch?
Yes, relaunch. This can has a lot of good properties. It works great. I mean, for instance,
what's it made of?
You have an HK USP. You can see it. Basically, it was designed. I just stuck it on there for reference. It was designed to fit the footprint of a handgun and not some kind of big, long 8-inch cylinder like you see the Tyran or any of these other 9mm cans. and you still get good suppression. It's not the quietest can because it's 5 inches long and not 8, but it's hearing safe. It's completely hearing safe. It is take apart. This one's been shot, so it's kind of dirty to the point I really don't want to take it apart and get nasty. But it's monolithic core. It has a stainless steel core. It has a titanium tube. The mounts are all like our 3-lug mount is 18-8 stainless steel, black nitride coated. We do all our heavy mounts in stainless steel instead of aluminum. You'll see these made out of aluminum by a lot of people, and we see a lot of worn out locking surfaces on 3-lugs because of that. So we made them out of stainless.
Yeah, because it's different. It's like a stronger metal on a weaker metal, right?
Yeah, well, it's more durable. Aluminum has a lot of strength, but it has very low durability. And with stainless steel, we get good strength with high durability, especially when you black nitride treat it. It makes it super hard on the surface, so your surface wear is negligible.
Okay.
We coat them in black Cerakote. This is type C, the high temp 2,000 degree stuff. We've literally had 5.56 cans glowing, and when they cool back off to room temperature, you couldn't tell we even shot them, other than the carbon scarring on the front cap. You know, the Cerakote's incredible. We use that.
So Walter, Joe, just jump in here if you want to ask any questions before that can goes away. I see you've got it there on an MP5. Can you
currently? Yes.
Show us that. Okay.
Yeah, I see. Get it in the light good. There we go.
And what does that can cost? I'm sure that's going to be the first question.
This can is incredibly economical. I am currently looking for my webpage. Oh, here it is. Because I don't know the prices of my own silencers. And that's sad, but it's true. Well, I would tell you, but I can't find it.
Okay. Hold on. Let me see. I'll pull up Liberty. That one is the which can are we talking? Centurion. Okay.
Silencers, 9mm Centurion, and it is still loading. Red page. Well, it just reloaded the home page. There we go.
Okay, let me see. I'll get it up. Okay, so
$525 MSRP.
Right. Okay.
And it comes with a half 28 booster, which is about $170 because our booster is all stainless, so it's and it's 18-8 and it's black nitride, so it won't wear. But it does come with that as part of the package.
Okay, so just explain for people who don't know, not me, because I know everything.
All right.
It'll come with. You know what's funny? Joe is laughing.
This little widget is known as a booster. All right.
There you go.
Okay.
What this does is it linearly decouples the handgun from the silencer momentarily. It allows the gun through inertia to recoil like it should, so that the gun can unlock and cycle normally, and allow the mass of the silencer to float momentarily decoupled from it. And this item is kind of, it's complicated. There's a bunch of complex machining. There's a bunch of super precision surfaces in here. And all this is very costly to make. You got all these little parts. There's O-rings and springs and piston assemblies. And
does everyone do boosters the same way, or is it just basically that? Because I've got a booster or two. Is it all basically just that spring in there to help with the decoupling, or the the piston is like locked into the can in such a way that it won't spin. And people approach that aspect of it different ways. Like Gemtech uses this idea. I got several of them here. These are mine. This is like our very first booster we ever made. This one was made on a lathe here in the shop by hand by a machinist. And what keeps the piston from just spinning in there, I don't know if you can see it, there's a set screw in it right here. That set screw is what Gemtech, as far as I know, to this day uses in their multi-mount booster. That was a very common way of locating it. Since then, we now mill these 10 detents into the body with a step shoulder on the inside that all 10 tines locate into. And that way you have 10 times the surface area, so you don't strip off one of your teeth and then you lose your location, or your set screw doesn't fall out, what have you. But yeah. See, this is the thing that I was thinking when we were talking about how cheap. I think Joe was saying that everyone thought suppressors just going to become really cheap. And I think that there would be cheap suppressors if they have the old technology going back to when Hiram Maxim or whoever it was that made those were doing it. But you've got lots of complications in doing suppressors nowadays based on technology, metals, etc.
Yeah,
Right or wrong?
I mean, like Walter was saying, aluminum boosters like this, they can knock out in no time in a small shop in a garage somewhere. To cut them out of stainless steel and then deburr them properly and then have them black nitride coated is much more costly and time consuming. And people will do these any day, you know, and I think he is right to that degree. I do agree with his philosophy. If the HPA had happened, you would see bucket loads of these things.
And then if you're going to shoot that on a rifle, you don't need that.
No, you need.
I mean, if you're going to just have a simple screw-on can,
you just need this little cap.
Right. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Way cheaper, right?
I
Walter?
said if that happened, there'd be people at gun shows with piles of cans on the table, literally.
Oh yeah.
$35, $40 cans, boom, in a pile.
Yeah.
I mean, because all it would, you know, because if it was just simple baffles in a two threaded ends, it's like, I know you get what you pay for,
right.
but you know, if you don't know any difference and you don't really give a crap,
Yeah.
Yeah. And the guy tells you squirt a bunch of gun oil in it before you shoot it.
right? It's quieter, yeah.
Yeah.
Put some
So
grease in it, yeah.
Let me ask this real quick because our friend Tyven wants to know, where does your aluminum come from? Is it American aluminum or is it Chicom aluminum or something like that?
Ours is Alcoa. It's out. It says Alcoa on the bar. I don't know if they make it in Tennessee at the Alcoa factory or not, but it's Alcoa aluminum. I try to buy U.S. made components anywhere possible, and it's expensive, a lot more expensive than Chinese metal. Now, unfortunately, the only place to get titanium is China. You can't buy it made in this country anymore for reasonable money. I mean, if I used American titanium now, the silencers would be $2,000 a piece just to get the titanium made in this country.
Yeah, because that stuff's all like aerospace grade stuff. I mean,
Right.
or certified titanium and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's all NASA titanium is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to get, well, see, Russia has all the titanium ore.
Right.
So you're going to get it from Russia, through China, into Canada, down into the U.S.
Are you saying Russia could shut us down if we mess with them from our titanium? No titanium for us? No.
I don't think so, because they made the SR-71s out of it.
Yeah, they got it. They got it. They got it.
They can get it somewhere.
Yeah. And Joe, I know we're coming up on you doing the things. Let me just ask one more question and then we'll switch over to Joe.
Whenever you want it. We only have to do it before the end of the show. I am ready and prepped here on my end. So
okay. And if you have any questions then, Joe.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Did you have a question for Dave before I drop one in here?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Doesn't Babyface, is it the can on his AK, is that a Liberty can? I don't want to say anything.
What is that? I'm trying to remember.
You guys make the chaotic, right?
Yes, they make the A chaotic. Yeah, I don't think that's not what Babyface has now.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said his first can was a Mystic. I seen that go by.
Yes, because the first can I shot with him was a Mystic. By the way, this is a Liberty suppressor right here. The Leonidas titanium, integrally suppressed. This was going to be my question. Like, I thought that we were headed somewhere really cool with suppressors before all this stuff happened. I was waiting for every barrel to be an integrally suppressed barrel.
You're gonna have to wait a long time.
5.56, 300.
You're gonna have to wait a
22,
long time.
9mm. Wasn't that where the industry was going?
The industry would like for that to happen. But no, there's people that like loud guns. I have a friend who wants like 10-inch SBRs because they're obnoxious. He likes them to be loud. You know, so there is a large, Walter's right. There's a large contingent of people who just don't care how loud their gun is.
Well, and it's cheaper that way too. Remember, there's a lot of cheap people in the world.
True. Okay.
Those 85 million people, I don't care if that can is $10. It's too much for some people. So
Yeah, everyone doesn't care about lightweight and all that kind of stuff.
No,
right?
Yeah,
Sure.
Some of these people are so cheap they squeak when they walk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they smoke and drink all day, but they're cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think though, like I remember going to the show and seeing some really cool integral stuff, and I was like, man, that's gonna be, that's gonna make it a lot easier, lighter. You can get like you can do one thing, and it's like instead of your SBR, you got your like shorter barrel and an integral suppressor, all of that kind of stuff in one. But I know, like what you're saying is what happened, Walter. Those guys are like, wait a second, we're not going to get the high end because all of those live in the high end. So they pulled all of those projects off the shelves. I think the only people that were really doing it was like, I know when I was looking, that's how Dave and I did this particular thing because Liberty was the only one doing that, right? Or one of the few people that I could think of.
And there still might not be but one or two, and there'll be customs compared to ours. We finally standardized that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because that's more labor intensive than your average can to manufacture that upper integrally with all the gas system and all that stuff.
Yeah, we even have the gas block inside the silencer because the gas block on the impingement gun is leaky, and we capture that gas inside of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're right. It's a complicated build.
So, and what happened with this, by the way? So Liberty didn't build the whole gun. You send your upper to them, what handguard or whatever you want to use. I think you guys have a setup, or people can do their own, right? Explain that to me,
Yes.
Dave. What's the options there with this?
All right.
The Unitas.
I'm going to answer armament and axes right quick.
Okay.
He asked about that one. Does it vent the gas out the front? And the answer to that is technically yes, but it doesn't have additional vents. It vents around where the tube meets that retaining ring at the very front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a joint where that tube is. There'll be some gas leakage there. That's deliberate. And then there's a hole at the front. It's got a counterboard front cap that does some work.
Let's see if we can.
Yeah, there you go. And
let's see if I can lock it on me here for a second.
we trap the gas from the gas block inside. The gas tube actually passes through the rear cap.
Yeah, titanium, people, straight from Russia.
Yeah. Yep, that's rusty titanium right there.
Vladimir Putin like slathered all over there. Sorry.
Yeah. Now,
okay, very cool.
Now,
I really do enjoy this. So I've been talking about this for a while, but I'll throw up something relatively soon here on this so you guys can see, because this is my favorite rifle. I love this thing.
It's beautiful.
I love shooting it. It's real quiet. You shot this, right, Walter? Huh?
I was thinking about that. I don't know if I have or not.
Yeah, I know Babyface shot it.
I've seen it 100 times. I've seen you talk about it 100 times, but I don't know if I've ever shot it. I mean,
you got to come over and we got to shoot it.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
Is there anybody that sells subsonic 223 off the shelf?
Yes, there's a couple of companies. They're boutique, but they're doing it. I think Discreet Ballistics, I believe, actually has Cycling Your Firearms subsonic 5.56.
Okay.
And supposedly EBR does, Engle Ballistic Research.
Right.
The long-standing name in subsonic rounds, but I believe they've got a live working 5.56 round that's in subsonic fashion.
Okay.
For the bulk of them, their subsonic loads are basically 22 long rifle in a great big package.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's where you really, really appreciate a can is when you run some subsonic.
Yeah. This is 300 blackout, and it's friggin' awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
300 blackout's awesome in there. Joe, did you have a question before we got Dave to show the next gun? I know you got another couple of other guns, right, Dave?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Let's go ahead and see.
So what I was leaving to or working towards when I asked about Babyface's can, do you have a AK specific can?
Yeah, the AK-otic, right?
Okay.
No, go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
Well, it's actually more niche than just AK. We make honestly, the Mystic X makes a great AK can because it's got the reinforced 17 4-core, and we actually make one of these fixed barrel adapters in 14 by 1 left hand, so it'll screw on the gun. and it's got enough bore clearance that you don't get baffle strikes because, you know, it's bored for 9mm and it still sounds good. But we make the achaotic because we partnered with Mark Krebs with his Krebs AC-15 and his AC-13. He's got a nickname for it. But those guns have, that one. They have a special proprietary flash suppressor, and the achaotic fits that special proprietary flash suppressor, and it's got a special lock system on it. And that's what that can's about. You see everyday civilian, he's got one. He shoots it pretty regular and puts it on Instagram.
Yeah, I've done some stuff with it as well. Now, let me ask you. So if someone doesn't have that specific AK, and I'm sure that's where Walter's going, you're saying that the Mystic would be the one to go with?
Oh, yeah. Every bit of it.
Do you have the Mystic? Do you have the Mystic with you, or?
No.
Okay.
well,
I feel like an idiot because I was going to get the trade show box and have it in here, so I'd have all these show and tell cans, and I did not bring it in here.
Okay, well, maybe we can get Joe. We can get Joe to do what he's going to do, and you can find that while Joe's doing his thing.
If you can give me like literally 60 seconds, I can have it.
Absolutely, cool.
All right, and then I want to ask you a question about the chaotic when you come back.
Okay.
All right, so I'm looking at this, Hank. I got a list. I got the list in the thing. Initially, I wanted to do some kind of way to like share the screen, but honestly, I don't want to share the screen with a bunch of email lists on it, right?
Yeah,
probably a bad idea.
So I would say don't do that, Joe.
So what I'm going to do is, while I'm talking to you, I'm going to record it on this, and you'll be there talking. So it'll be timestamped with this, and then I can edit the video off my phone to like some kind of hazy thing over the rest of the names or some way that I can bring about that later.
So for everyone to enter, you're closing it now, right? Is it closing for anyone?
No, if you didn't enter, you sign up now if you want, and you'll be ready to go for the next one. But I just pulled all these numbers. I would have to start over. I don't think anybody's added in the past 5 minutes.
Okay,
but
cool.
Yeah, I stopped it like right at the bottom of the hour. So if you were in as of 5 minutes ago, you're good.
So just reiterate to everyone what we're doing for people who just jumped in now and joining us. What's up?
All right, so we're doing a giveaway of a Geisley SSP trigger. Special thank you to Geisley. They're donating the trigger. And so it's going to ship to you from Geisley. So, you know, you forward me, I'll forward your contact info to them, vice versa. They'll ship it to you. I will also send you a 13C swag pack. If you did the extra steps in the thing when I email you, let me know, you know, you did some of those extra steps. The extra steps were like sharing and stuff. So if you took the time to share the thing or whatever, you know, I'll go and click, I'll find it, and then I'll send you some extra stuff on top of that in addition. So depending on, I'll probably ask your t-shirt size and stuff like that, because I got a few different things here. If you did that, awesome. If you didn't, well, we'll still send you a patch or two in addition to the Geisley trigger. But obviously the big thing is the SSP trigger. So
all right, very cool.
Do that. I'm gonna start my video recording here. All right, so I'm recording you, recording me.
Oh boy,
recording everybody here.
We're in an infinite loop.
We're going to hit
there's Walter.
the randomize button right here. And the top of our list is going to be that guy right there. So it's going to be Dan at, and I'm just going to say PC. I'm not going to say the rest of it. So Dan at PC, if you're watching, congratulations. And if you're not watching right now, you will be getting an email when the show is over, letting you know. And obviously, please don't unsubscribe now, because we have more giveaways coming up. We're going to be giving away a couple of Olight flashlights very soon in the next couple of weeks. We're hammering those details out. It's going to be soon. And then there's other stuff coming up over the next few weeks and months and everything else. We're going to try and make a giveaway almost every month through the email list. So thank you, everyone. We appreciate it. And thank you to Geisley.
Awesome. I'm so happy. Whoever Dan at PC is, I hope it's someone who watches my stuff and your stuff and they, you know, but we'll, you know,
I do too.
Let's see. We'll find out who it is. If you don't hear from that person, do you have like a time limit in which they have to get in touch with you, or?
Yes. So I was going to do 48 hours. So, you know, if I don't hear back from them in 48, well, we end at 9, so I'm going to email them at 9. So if I don't hear back from 48 hours from now at 9, I'm going to do it again. And then whoever comes up, comes up.
Yep, and everyone's congratulating Dan here in the chat, so congratulations to him. And then I think you had a question for Dave.
I
Right?
do.
Something about the chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I shot. I've hung out with Mark Krebs before, and I'm friends with Everyday Civilian as well. I am. I've had fun enjoying and shooting it. I wanted to ask. I'm pretty sure just so long as you use the Krebs calls it their IMS system, if I remember correctly. That's the name. That's the name they use for it. You can put that IMS muzzle device on pretty much any AK, right? And then put the chaotic on it.
Yeah, as long as it'll fit the thread pitch and you mount his device, the chaotic will go right on. Yes, it'll work great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And along those lines, this is what a chaotic looks like. All right.
Boom. Yep.
Without the special adaptation, there's a little extra machine work here for the Krebs stuff, but this is the straight direct thread version. All right. And what I want to do, since you had me on the air here, is let you give away a couple of these chaotic T-shirts.
What? Awesome. Okay.
So
the Liberty logo on the front, and then it has this big graphic on the back. I have them in limited sizes. I have some larges, some extra larges, and 2Xs. So whoever you give them away to, we can do a couple of them. What's Walter doing?
Yeah. So so here's the thing. So your Instagram is Liberty Cans, right? Liberty Cans.
Yes.
That's your Instagram. So do you want to give away one? Let's give away one on your Instagram.
Now, I'll give away them. You can have 2 to do on yours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to give it away here? You want to give it away right here? Okay, we'll do that. So, but everyone go follow Liberty Cans. That's Liberty Suppressors on Instagram. You guys go follow that. Okay, so here's what we'll do. How many are you giving us? How many T-shirts can we give away? 2? Okay, so all right. So we'll choose 2 people in the chat. Make your comments right now. I'm going to put Joe. Joe, can you see the comments?
I can.
Okay, Joe can see the comments. Walter, can you see the comments also?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I will let Walter pick one, and I will let Joe pick one. And so you guys have at it right now. Tell Joe and Walter how awesome they are. And I hope you are following Walter on Safety Harbor Firearms on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere, as well as 13C Gun Reviews. You better be, because Joe's going to be picking one of these, and Walter's going to be picking one. So, and then where was the, and we'll do it before we end the show. Dave, where was the Mystic? The Mystic is based. Boom, there we go. Okay.
That's the core. There's the tube. And of course, this is the lock ring that holds the tube and core together. It's just a little, this is 4140 alloy steel. Okay. This is 17.4 stainless steel. All right. And it has, well, there's a plethora of special treatments that make this as great as it is. Up to and including the wave lock in the tube. Okay. This prevents tube rotation, allows you to drive the silencer. This allows you to put a 3-lug mount on it and reach down inside of an AR-15 handguard where there's a 3-lug barrel and lock it in place without the tube spinning. The can is virtually indestructible. Now it drops in the tube. You run the lock ring on the back. It's simple. You can't put the baffles in wrong. You got to put the wave lock to the wave lock. You just run this lock ring down. Occasionally, we'll get someone who will put the lock ring on backwards. They're fluted, but not all the way through. If I can get the light to shine, you can see the flutes don't pass through. Because one end fits this ring that we sell separately. Not everybody wants it. From the poll, people would rather save the $40 and just have the can, as some of them don't want the ring. But the ring drops onto the end of the can, allow you to drive it easier, so you don't scratch it up. Some people will just put pliers on this, and it doesn't matter. It won't hurt it, but
yeah, I think I'd rather have the.
You spent all that time waiting to get your can. You spent all that money to get your can, and you can't spend enough next to
get the little wrench. Right.
Yeah, but Walter, you said it. You said it. People will cheat.
And they have no patience, unfortunately. Yes. So
yeah. So okay, that's very cool. What does that cost, Dave?
This, there you go again.
Let me go.
I'll know in just a
Let's
second.
see. That is the that's a 7.62, right?
No,
And,
it's multi-purpose.
multi Mystic X. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see on my website. I'm not seeing it when I pull it up. I think I have some stuff blocked.
645. It's right,
there
back,
you go.
right out of the place your order button. 645.
Okay. 645. Okay, very cool. All right. That's a cool price for that. That's a cool price for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Did you have some other stuff you wanted to show us before we start? I'm going to show some other guns. So I know that Joe, you've got a. Go ahead, Dave. Did you want to?
Just one little piece of trivia. This suppressor was a joke between us and Advanced Armament back in about 2009. I don't know if everybody sees what
I love that. Yeah, I see. It says Liberty.
Yeah, they bought a Mystic or a Mystic. This is an actual Mystic core, and we found out through a mutual friend this was the actual silencer they was buying. So we made them a special core.
Oh, okay.
It was this one.
Oh, cool. No, that's awesome.
But long story short was we was just pranking them, and we told them if they'd send it back, we'd put the legit Mystic core in it, and they sent it. I was kind of shocked because this is the only one of these.
Yeah, that's like Willy Wonka, man. I wouldn't send it back. Does it work like that?
Yeah. It's actually kind of loud compared to the Mystic, but it's real heavy. But I thought, but they sent it back. It blew my mind. They actually sent it. I know how Kevin Brittingham likes to collect silencers. I figured he'd have kept it just for that and bought another one. But they did. They sent it back, swapped them out. So yeah, that one's got some pretty interesting history.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. All right, so let's go. I'm going to show Walter and I were working on some stuff. I don't know, Walter, I don't know if you had anything to show, but we actually assembled this. So this is Hightower. This is what is it? Hightower. Is it Hightower Firearms? Hightower. I forgot the name of the kit now. It's slipping.
It's on the side.
It's right here. Hightower Armory. Yeah, Hightower Armory. And
one of these is going to be coming to you to go on that, okay?
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's the next thing that it needs. So this is a kit for the Ruger 1022. What Walter and I did was, so Barnauls has they've got a Ruger receiver that's got Barnauls on it. That's what's in this. The barrel's from Barnauls. It's threaded, as Dave was alluding to. Look at that, man. We need a suppressor on this. It's threaded. So, Walter and I put this together. Walter, what did you think about this build? I'm going to have a video coming out soon.
Well, I think it was all right. It's a little, you got to read the instructions fully. I would say that.
Yeah. Somebody doesn't believe in reading the instructions. Neither one of us.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I finally succumbed to this instructions. Yes.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, and it has a good feel about it. For being what it is.
You painted it, right, Walter?
Yes, I painted it with the Barnauls Alumahide OD
check
green.
That out. There you go.
It was black. Yep.
Here, I'll lock it. I'll lock it on me so Walter can talk about it. So, just you want to give any pointers to anyone out there? If you guys want to know, this is not the feeding magazine up here. It removes. It comes out, but this is so you can keep extra 22 up in there.
More rounds. It's for ammunition storage.
Yeah.
One thing we ran into, and luckily I had one sitting at home. Hank had acquired all the parts from Barnauls except for one vital piece, and that is the stock, the screw that usually goes on a Ruger through the stock into the receiver.
Yeah, the takedown. They call it.
Yeah, the takedown screw. Luckily at home I had a brand new in the box.
Yeah,
Ruger 1022 Boy Scout commemorative rifle.
Whenever you're building something, like anyone out there, you've gone through this. Is like the curse. When you build something, you can never make a perfect list where you have all the parts.
And I had just said, I think we got everything that we need. And it's like,
yeah.
So luckily we had that. I had that at home. We went home, grabbed that rifle, took the screw off it. Hank's going to get me another one from my Boy Scout 2010.
Yeah, I need to order it. By the way, that Boy Scout rifle is freaking awesome. I almost didn't want to take the screw out of that thing.
That's all right. Sacrilege. No worries. We had a mission accomplished. So
yeah, it's a beautiful gun. You got to ship one.
On the same note, we built an AR-15 also that we're going to be giving away here. By the way, And I thought I had everything. And we're going along, and I go to put the gas tube in, and the barrel's mid-length, and I had a carbine gas tube. And I'm like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
And luckily, I had bought just out of the blue some extra mid-length gas tubes, and I had them setting, and went and got the gas tube put together, and pow. We got it all together, yeah.
When that video, I actually finished editing that video and uploaded it today, but it's not coming out for a couple of days. I think it's going to go up for our patrons first.
Right.
But so the funny thing about that video, I did time lapse, and in the time lapse, you'll see the part where it kind of looks like we've paused because, you know, there's nothing happening for a couple of seconds there. It's a good thing there was no audio because there was lots of cursing going on.
Richard Hughes is asking how the trigger is on that. How's the trigger?
The trigger on this?
It's a bullpup trigger. It's nothing special.
Yeah, it's linkage and all that. By the way, one of the things that we found out about this, now it has 2 safeties. So there's a safety, and then it has that that PS90 safety up there. So
yeah, I go to shoot, and it's like nothing's happening.
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck?
Bushy. I mean, yeah, it seems like the same kind of trigger like a PS90.
Yeah. Well, okay, well.
Joe, how's the trigger? Wait, Joe, you've got the real thing. How is the trigger on yours, Joe? And by the way, the same color. This is the same color. Check it out. Ooh, looks same, almost the same. Is yours OD green, Joe?
It is.
There you go.
So before we try the trigger,
don't desk pop right now.
Home defense guys here.
Yeah.
You can see clear through this guy here. All right. You know, and I still have it, and I have it right here. Shout out to K&M Arms. I still have the trigger. I have not put in here yet, but I'm going to. I do have K&M Arms extending charging handle already, which I do like a lot.
Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, and then you got so and K&M Arms makes an upgrade trigger for the PS90.
Well, it's not a trigger. It's sitting here. It is literally right here. It's still here. It is a spring. So it replaces the spring in the trigger pack in here. There's instructions on how to do it. I just haven't gotten around to doing it, and supposedly it lightens up the spring quite a bit. So
yeah,
we are still clear. And I mean, there's creep. It's a little spongy, and it's a little heavy. But I mean,
it's a bullpup.
This is not a precision pack driver, right? I mean, it does group really, really well. But for CQB work, I mean, it's fine. It's got a heavy enough trigger that I don't mind it, simply because I don't want to accidentally breathe on a trigger like this and have it go off. So,
Right.
you know, it's acceptable to me.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to my friends, Firearms Fanatic in the chat. Yeah, you know what? This was didn't we put in a little bit of an upgrade, Walter, on this trigger with the
you used the Ruger
the
upgrade.
BX, right?
Yeah,
the
yes,
BX
correct.
trigger,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
It's not bad. I mean, you know, it's what it is, you know.
Yeah. Also, if you're lefty, that's why this is on. This is a deflector. But if you're right-handed, you probably want to remove this. So I'll remove that before we do so. Walter and I will shoot this.
I shot it right-handed with the deflector on, and it was deflecting little pieces of stuff into my arm. So, well, I don't know exactly why that was, but
I think the deflector is for the lefties. If you're shooting it lefty, you'll use the deflector. If you're shooting it right-handed,
it'll throw it clear. It'll throw it clear.
Yeah. So we'll because Walter is weird. He's born with this impediment where he's left-handed.
Yeah.
Somehow he's
wrong-handed.
All right, here it is. Let me clarify this. I write with my right hand. I shoot rifle left-handed. I shoot rifle left-handed. I shoot pistol right-handed. And I can turn a wrench with any arm, so it doesn't.
So are you saying you're ambidextrous?
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
I got you. I said ambidextrous.
I know what you said. I heard what you said.
And he agreed. I mean, everyone's seen your picture, so I don't know. Did you see that picture I put up of you?
Yeah, that was terrible. That was terrible. Yeah. But it was supposed to be terrible, so that's
I don't know. Let me see if I can share it with people. Whenever I share things, boom, there's Walter doing the hand on hip and sticking out the butt pose. Oh, that's gonna go down in infamy.
That's that. My sister and her daughters do that kind of pose every time they take a picture when they're together. It's kind of like, it's really contrived, you know. It's kind of like, yeah. But anyways, that's just whatever.
Yeah, it's terrible. So that's what we were doing. Let's see. Anyone got any guns? Dave, do you have anything that you didn't get a chance to show us?
Well, I mean, I've got all kinds of toys. I mean,
the people want to see. I guarantee you, the people want to see more stuff.
He's talking about 458 SOCOM. This one's solid titanium.
Look at that.
Readers in the high 120s, low 130s on an 11-inch carbine. Weighs like 20 ounces. It weighs nothing compared to what it looks like. It looks like it'd be heavy, but it's not.
Oh, okay. So Lola had this question while you're doing that. She wanted to know what was the best practice for cleaning silencers, maintaining, etc.
Hand it off to somebody else.
If it's a rifle silencer, don't worry about it. Unless if you're a really heavy shooter, we warranty them to where we'll help you clean your rifle cans. It's not a big deal because they're sealed and they're not meant to be dismantled. If it's a take apart can like the Mystic X, take it apart and clean it when you clean your gun. That's what we say. If you do it on the same regimen you clean your firearm, then you shouldn't have much trouble getting it apart and cleaning it. But like surgically clean isn't important. Just get the big stuff. We sandblast them here. When we take this core out of the Mystic, we'll literally take it. We have a dust collector on our sandblaster, and we'll just media blast it and knock off the heavy stuff. Leave it in the little corners. It ain't a big deal. It's going to build right back up. So, we just knock off the heavy stuff, put it back in the tube. And then just enjoy it. We make ours, some people want to soak them in that acid stuff mixed with vinegar and peroxide. They're all stainless steel or titanium. Contrary to popular belief, there's not enough aluminum in the titanium for it to really hurt it. We've tried. It doesn't seem to affect it. So you can soak your titanium 22 can in the good.
By the way, Walter and Joe, start looking for winners. We got to pick the winners before we end.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dave.
Like this is our rimfire can. All of these are clean because they're trade show cans. We don't shoot them. But like you just knock the stuff out of these big openings and clean out down in this blast chamber some, and then just put it back in and shoot it. Is this the new 22, the Vector, or no? The Vector is this one. That's the regulator. Regulator is actually quieter. If you want quiet, get a regulator.
Okay.
It absolutely is the quieter.
The Vector is the modular. Well, it's a little bit modular, right? Okay.
And I laid it down. Oh, here it is. Okay. I'm making a mess in here, but yeah, if you crack it loose, this is our first foray. Literally in over a decade into stack baffle technology. We make these baffles are actually, there's a lot going on here. All right.
Yeah. And I think they don't. So what's going on? So when you stack these baffles in there, they don't actually touch.
Yeah. See how they just fall into the tube. After you shoot 2,000 rounds, they'll come out nearly that easy. Oops.
Okay. So because 22s are really, really dirty. So I'm assuming this helps with the maintenance on that.
This tech or this machine work right here, this ring on the baffle face keeps it from locking up and building up inside between the baffles and the tube wall. And there's deliberate clearance in there to prevent that buildup so that even with what little gas leakage there is, the baffles just fall right out. You don't have to fight them to get it apart. And that was the whole premise. We got tired of people having to fight to get their cans apart. And people will damage them trying to take them apart to clean them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's no reason for it. But all you got to do is just make the can where it'll come apart.
Yeah, I almost think you have to like treat them with something before you start shooting them, just to make it easy to take them apart.
And I've seen people try all sorts of stuff like that. But this modular section has 2 additional baffles, and there's not a ratchet.
Okay, you got a couple of seconds here. Let me let Joe. Are you ready to pick, or Walter? Are you guys ready to pick someone?
Walter, you first.
Okay.
Screaming Skull Saloon.
Okay, there you go. Walter picked Screaming Skull Saloon. What did Screaming Skull Saloon say?
They were just showing me all kinds of love. So.
Oh, okay, awesome. So Walter's picking Screaming Skull Saloon. Get in touch with us, Screaming Skull out there. Get in touch with us. You get a Liberty, and then let us know what your size is so that we can get that. You have to go through hankstrange.tv and register your email. and send an email to myself and Lola saying that you won the Liberty Suppressors t-shirt, what size it is, and we'll take care of that for ya. And make sure that when you get this t-shirt, you go on social media and thank Liberty Suppressors. Okay. They will appreciate that love. Okay, let's see. Joe, do you need a couple more seconds and we can get Dave to show us what he's going to show us here?
I was going through the list. I'm trying to look back and see somebody was talking about a new 3D printing band that they're trying to slip in.
Oh yeah, that's let's talk about that real quick. If you guys don't mind, us taking a couple extra minutes here.
Okay. Jafari H. I'm going with that. I know there's a bunch of people who shouted me out, but I'm going with something that I did not we haven't talked about and we haven't seen, so thank you for that.
Yeah, that's HR 1175. It's just it's hot off the actually it says it's introduced in 2017, but I think that's something that's getting pulled up again. That's supposed to stop you from either making your own, like building up making your own 80%ers or 3D printing,
parts
and all
kits,
that kind of stuff.
parts kits,
etc. So we need to take a closer look at that. We'll probably talk about that sometime this week. It was actually very cool having Dave on. We're gonna have to have you on again, Dave, because this time
I had a good time. I really appreciate y'all putting up with me.
Oh no, man, you can come back on anytime. You're a cool dude, man. I've always, I've known you for a long time doing this. You've always been cool with me, so you're welcome here anytime, brother.
Thank you.
We're not done yet. We're not done yet. What's up?
I want both of them to reach out to me in email once we get off of here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. We'll do that when we end. You'll stay there, Dave. So let's.
Okay.
So Joe, you said Jafari H on that one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Very cool. So let's just see this. Let's see what Dave has here, and then we'll wrap up.
This is the Constitution. Simple 5x6, 2 parts. Can't do it wrong. Keep life simple.
Does it have that written on it somewhere? In the
It says the Constitution right there on it.
Awesome. And then what does that cost?
This one is actually like $465, $485 somewhere. It's less than $500. It's solid alloy steel, 5.56 can, severe duty. It's the one that's actually on my personal shooter carbine. As you can see, it's the same suppressor on my personal rifle. That's how much I like them. This is the one I shoot every week.
Awesome.
As you can see from the wear on the camo, this gun does see service.
No, the wear makes the camo look better, man.
Yes, it makes it have the battle worn look.
Absolutely.
You have to distress it through use, not buying it.
Right. Do not pay to have someone sand your paint on.
Yeah.
Just shoot it. Trade with it. Love it. Sleep with it in your bed next to you. Those are all the things that will do it. You know what? Listen, we're going to have to wrap this up because we're over the 9 o'clock hour. Dave, I'll come back to you last, but I'm going to let our guests that are here go first in terms of telling everyone how to get in touch with them. Walter, how about you? Tell folks what you're up to. How to get in touch with you.
Get in touch with me. Facebook, Instagram. I tweet a little bit too. It shows up there sometimes. Working on stuff in the shop. Staying busy. SHOT Show's right around the corner, so we got a couple things that'll be new at SHOT, but they'll probably be shown before SHOT. So like everybody else is doing.
By this guy.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, definitely. But anyways, so that's what's going on. Facebook, Instagram, that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And Walter and I, like Walter alluded to it earlier, we did build a gun. We're giving that away. Tell them about that.
We built an AR-15 using the ATI parts. Got a Safety Harbor Firearms lower. Test fired in the shop. Works good. So, we'll be giving it away. We're doing some video with it before we give it away. And rub our DNA all over it. We'll be ready to go.
Yeah. You're going to have to work for it, though. You're going to have to go out there.
Yeah, there's going to be more than just posting on here to get that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so let's go to Joe. Joe, how's it going, man? Oh, look at that. Look at that little bit of awesomeness right there.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So this one doesn't have an SSP trigger in it, but it's got an SDE in it from Geisley. So again, another shout out to them. But this Right-On Optic went live not long ago, so definitely go ahead and check those out. I got to get Lola in touch with them, by the way. I just remembered that. So anyway, facebook.com/gun reviews. We're on Instagram at 13C Gun Reviews. So if you didn't sign up for the newsletter, sign up for it. We're going to keep giving away stuff. We got a couple flashlights that are going to be coming up next, I think, from Olight. So those will be, I don't know, sometime in the next month. I don't know. And there'll be other stuff coming up. We're going to try and make it a monthly thing if we can, at least quarterly, but probably monthly. So whenever we can pull it off. That's about it. We got new videos are going to be dropping next week. So.
Okay, very cool. Make sure you follow Joe on Instagram. He always does a live show after our show on Fridays.
Yep.
Yeah, that you guys can jump on. You want to tell them about that real quick, Joe?
Yeah, so Friday nights, immediately after. So after you're done watching Hank, hop over to Instagram. We go at 8 Central, which will be 9 Eastern. And we'll run anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour, just talking about various stuff. We'll have different guests on from time to time as well. Covering what we went over for the past week and just kind of a very laid back hangout on Instagram. Probably after the first of the year, I'm gonna look at trying to change that up to either Tuesday or Wednesday night, maybe try and get feedback from subscribers, because Friday is just really hard to keep up and maintain every week, trying to do it on a Friday night. But we're gonna keep that up at least to the end of the year. And I don't know how you do it, Hank. I don't know how you do one of these every night, Monday through Friday. That is, I don't think people realize how much dedication that is to.
Yeah,
every
Walter is on the ragged edge right now. Look at him; he's on the ragged edge.
I did all last week, every day. I was like,
yeah, it is fun for me to come on every few weeks. I enjoy it. I could not imagine trying to do this 5 nights a week. That's turning fun into work. I don't know how you keep it fun.
Yeah. Just by hanging out with the people, man. We don't really super plan it. We just jump in here with folks and talk. Yeah. And it's actually like, to me, it's like going to a club or something and hanging out with your friends and you get to talk. And I get the energy from the people. A lot of times before I start this, I'm like, I'm going to quit right now.
Actually, I was like, where's my links yesterday? I was like, where's my links? And it's like, oh, that's right. He told me there weren't going to be any shows. So, I mean, I got it all set up and I'm like, oh, that's right. Oh,
yeah. You've got a good point. Sometimes on Friday nights, that's me. I'm like, oh, I got to go live. And then as soon as I get on and a couple of people join in, it's like, oh, all right, we're doing this.
Yeah, you get the adrenaline from the folks out there. I know people are asking who won the shirts here. I believe it was Screaming Skull Saloon and Jafari H. But if you still want to get shirts, go to Liberty, because Dave is going to be giving them away. Dave, you want to tell the folks out there how to get in touch with you, follow you on social media, all that kind of good stuff?
Yeah. We're on Facebook as Liberty Suppressors. You can find us on the gram at Liberty Cans. I go live on Liberty Cans every Tuesday evening for an hour, sometimes 2 hours. At 6 p.m. Eastern, I'll smoke a cigar and we'll have a real relaxed, a lot like we did tonight.
Oh, cool.
Basically, I sent all of my normal Instagram live stream people to watch this tonight.
Oh, sweet.
I was here.
Awesome.
And I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
But we're also on the internet at libertykansas.net. You can email us and call us, and all that's available. You can find that anywhere easily. There's a quick Google search to hit that. But yeah, we're here to help.
Awesome, man. I would definitely like to see you come back on. My friend Adrian has something called Cigars and Guns. He's a cigar dude and a gun guy out in Texas. Do you know him?
No, sir, I do not.
Yeah, so maybe I'll make plans to have you and Adrian, because he's a really good guy, man. And he's out in Texas, and he's a cigar guy. We can have you and him, maybe some other cigar dudes come on. Except, like, I don't smoke cigars, but I believe in freedom, man, and I think it's awesome. So nice. Walter used to smoke. You don't smoke anymore, right, Walter?
I haven't in a while, but I'm sure we can have an adult beverage with that cigar, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Joe, do you smoke cigars, man? I can't remember.
I basically tried to I weaned myself off them, because I used to, back a long time ago when I was with the fire department, I smoked cigarettes, and I quit when my firstborn was born about 14 years ago. And I've tried to do cigars on and off a couple times. It makes me want to smoke so bad. I say that I haven't touched a cigarette in probably at all in 10 years, and I haven't smoked more than like 3 in 14 years. But I'm still as much of an addict, even though I haven't had one in 10 years. I'm still as much of an addict as I was then, and I can't do it. I know my limits. I can't do it now. On the other hand, I will definitely throw back the the adult beverage from time to time. Most certainly.
The brown fluid. Yeah. So I see my friend, one of the Fanatic brothers says, Adrian is at Cigars and Guns is an awesome dude. Gave him a box of cigars on the convoy. That's true. We'll have them on, but we'll have a cigar show. I need to do that and get Adrian on. So maybe I'll invite you to that, Dave.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. I think that'll be an awesome show. Okay, I'm not going to hold anyone any longer. Right. You guys stay right here. I'm going to call this the end of the show. Thanks for everyone for joining us. It's been a fun, fast show. I enjoyed you guys today. We'll see you tomorrow. We're out of here. Peace.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for coming on, guys.